Welcome gamers, weebs, and nerds alike. 2025 has already been an amazing year for gaming with phenomenal new AAA games and IPs, indie titles pushing the medium in new directions, and spin-offs giving fresh, fun new takes across genres. And there's still a multitude of amazing games still on the horizon. So in today's video, we are going over 10 of the best games coming out in the second half of 2025. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more geek content. And without further ado, let's get into the list.
First up on our list, we have Mario Kart World. Depending on when you're catching this video, our next entry of Mario Kart World may very well already have been out for a bit. Now, we know that with the little bit of controversy that's been surrounding the release of the Switch 2, this may be an unpopular pick, but it's a no-brainer for us. Mario Kart World looks to be aiming to continue that time-old tradition of the Mario Kart series by innovating and even further expanding on all factors of the series, ranging from roster of characters, to power-ups, to tracks, to karts, to gameplay physics, and so much more. Mario Kart has been entertaining everyone from try-hard geeks to chill family game night peeps for over 30 years, and Nintendo is certainly aiming to continue that tradition here. I will say the only tradition I would love to see go away is that blasted blue shell coming out of nowhere to wipe me out of first on the last straightaway of the track, causing me the unbearable weight of watching my position fall from first to seventh in the blink of an eye. All jokes aside, system controversy aside, we cannot wait to get our hands on this next entry of the series for our group game nights and voice lobby trolling sessions soon.
Next, we got Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This is the next big action Souls-like RPG that looks a lot like the massive hit Black Myth Wukong that came out in 2024 in the best ways possible. This follows Wuchang, a pirate warrior suffering from amnesia and the effects of the feathering disease, which turns people into monstrous creatures. Wuchang must navigate a world plagued by warring factions and a mysterious illness, ultimately uncovering the truth of her past and the source of the feathering disease. The areas look absolutely gorgeous and take full advantage of Unreal Engine 5, and vary from ancient temples to flowing red fields to snow-packed lands. The enemy designs are both grotesque and cool looking, with really fun movesets. It does look like this will be very parry focused like Wukong, Sekiro, and Stellar Blade, so be prepared for insane wombo combos that'll really test your timing. Plus, nothing really is as satisfying as the sound of swords clanking together as you complete an 18-hit parry before launching your counterattack. If you're ready for another pretty parry sim, pick this one up as it comes out in July.
Picture this. It's 2002 and you just finished your homework and mowed your neighbor's lawn who gave you a whopping $5. Taking that along with your stockpiled allowance, you pick up Metroid Prime. You get home, pop it into your GameCube, and at the menu you just sit awestruck at the menu music, and you are entranced before you even begin to play. Fast forward 23 years and you are eagerly awaiting the next entry on our list, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. After the long-coming destruction of Phazon, Metroid Prime 4 picks up with our familiar hero, Samus Aran, being suddenly transported to and fighting for survival on planet Vuros. It seems to be all the usual Samus shenanigans that we are all used to with a few twists, like the newfound psychic powers that we cannot wait to get our hands on. With the little bit that we've seen so far, we can confidently say that we are excited to jump back into the Prime series with all the familiar aspects of the run-and-gun combat and exploration on this new planet with unfamiliar hostile wildlife, new psychic powers, and some not-so-new foes to conquer or reconquer. I'm looking at you, Silex.
Now, we have Gears of War Reloaded. This has been a long time coming, and we mean a long time. The original Gears of War came out 19 years ago, and it's definitely showing its age, especially in the graphics department. But finally, we are getting a complete remaster, something that looks akin to the Oblivion remaster we got, and we could not be more excited. While it is definitely weird to see one of Xbox's flagship franchises come out on PlayStation for the first time ever, it nonetheless looks amazing. The graphics look like an extreme overhaul from the characters, environments, and even textures. This game looks beautiful. For those who've never played a Gears game before, these three games focus on Marcus Phoenix, voiced by none other than John DiMaggio, and Delta Squad, as they aid in humanity's struggle for survival against the Locust Horde, a monstrous race that erupts from the planet Sarah's core after the Pendulum Wars. If you've ever wanted to just feel like a badass, these are the games for you. I mean, how can you not feel cool when your super ripped, armored up unit of a person is sawing these monsters in half with a chainsaw attached to an assault rifle? If you're new to the games or coming back for some good old nostalgia, this releases in late August.
Have you ever heard your friends shouting at each other in distressed tones of "Snake? Snake? Snake?" but not known what they were referencing, and all these years later, you're too afraid to ask? Well, first of all, crawl out from that rock you're living under and perk up those ears for the next entry on our list, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. For gamers who've been looking to get into the Metal Gear series but don't know where to start, Delta Snake Eater is the perfect upcoming release for you. While it is a remake of the 5th entry of the series, it is canonically the first game in the series, which is perfect. This is the perfect jumping off point for all fans, new or old, of the series, not only for the chronological reasons, but the beautiful graphical and system upgrades coming about in this release. We can't wait to dive into Solid Snake's Cold War antics and all the stealthy goodness that goes along with it when this sure-to-be smash hit of a remake drops later this year.
Next up, we have Lost Soul Aside. The fact this game is coming out at all is a serious achievement, and with the fact the graphics look great and the combat looks extremely fun, smooth, and polished, you have a serious dark horse for the Game Awards. We have been waiting for 9 years since this game's first announcement back in July of 2016. People have even played early demos as early back as 2017. But when it was first announced, this was a one-man Unreal project that was heavily inspired by Final Fantasy and ended up getting the attention of Sony itself, who ended up becoming the game's publisher and adding a bunch more developers. It looks like it'll play similar to a fast-paced Souls-like, very akin to Stellar Blade and the aforementioned Wuchang. The abilities look cool, the power system is intriguing, and really looks flashy and fun. You can definitely see the inspiration Final Fantasy had in this game, and it just makes us that much more excited to play it. It's definitely going to be one to keep you on your toes from beginning to end, so if that sounds appealing to you, definitely check it out when it releases in October.
Cozy gamers, rise up for this next entry on our list with Lord of the Rings, Tales of the Shire. We here at Variant Geek Channel were devastated when it was announced that this cozy game was going to be delayed till July of this year. However, upon reassessment, we cannot complain that Weta Game Studios wants to polish this upcoming title as best they can before release. It has been a long time running dream of us here at VGC to farm our days away in the Shire while cozying up in a hobbit hole of our own, and Tales of the Shire promises to deliver on that dream and so much more. Cozy games can be a dime a dozen these days, but are still dominated in the minds of many by such titles as the channel favorites of Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, or Coral Island, just to name a few. However, Tales of the Shire stands to shake up this trend with the titan that is the IP of Middle-earth behind them. While we aren't expecting a Shadow of War level release that impacts the industry as a whole come this July, all we can ask is that we don't get another Gollum, and we get to live out our days till our 11th birthdays farming in the Shire.
Now we have probably one of the more controversial games coming out later this year, Ghosts of Yotei. Ghost of Tsushima was a darn near masterpiece with a great story, great visuals, a huge expansive world with unique exploration mechanics, and of course, phenomenal combat. Ghosts of Yotei looks to continue that and expand in some really great ways, one of the most interesting being in combat, with the use of multiple different weapon types. Instead of just the katana and bow in the first game, you get to switch between dual katanas, one katana, kusarigama, odachi, a matchlock rifle, among a bunch of others. This takes place roughly 300 years after Tsushima, following Atsu, who is a lone mercenary who is seeking revenge for their family's death by the Yotei Six. I am a sucker for a good revenge plot, and Sucker Punch is pretty darn solid when it comes to the writing of its games. The visuals look breathtaking and take full advantage of the PS5's hardware. We don't have to wait too much longer as it comes out on October 2nd.
Hey, somebody pass the Gabagoul so I can properly get into character for this next entry on our list with Hangar 13's Mafia the Old Country. Now, if you've been around for some of our discussions over on Twitch, cough cough, Buff and BBQ and Shepherd 6, cough cough, check them out, they're really cool, cough cough, then you'll know our thoughts on Mafia 3. To summarize, the first half of the game's narrative was incredible, just like all other Mafia series entries. However, unfortunately, this was lost in the last half of the game, and the team at Hangar 13 have touched on this and made a commitment to fans of the series to not lose the plot along the way this time. And what better way to do that than return to the place that it all started and revisit the origins of the Sicilian mob in the early 1900s. The little bit we have seen so far from Mafia the Old Country has us hyped here at VGC. The over-the-shoulder core gameplay and gunplay is back and smoother than ever. The setting landscapes are breathtaking, and we can't wait to cause terror and turmoil across the beautiful Sicilian countryside as we make a name for ourselves and rise through the ranks of the Torrisi crime family when Mafia: The Old Country hits systems later this year.
Do you like sand? Do you like the fact that 100 years from now, it's gonna be sand? Well, to wrap out this list, we have the Sand MMO Dune Awakening. Coming off the huge success of Part 2 and what is considered the best sci-fi story ever written and the most influential, we finally have an MMO set in that universe, and it actually looks pretty fun. You play as a nameless prisoner who ends up crashing into the sandy planet Arrakis, being chased by, well, everything. It has a similar mechanic to V-Rising, where the sun hurts you and forces you to maneuver between shady spots in the day. There's a nice variation between weapons, abilities, and classes to really diversify things and keep the loot fun and fresh. The crafting looks really cool and in-depth. There's plenty of different traversal options as well to help you explore Arrakis. It looks like you can join different factions as well, which sounds extremely interesting to see how that is implemented. If you're looking forward to exploring the world of Dune with your friends, you only have a couple more days to wait as it comes out on June 10th.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to let us know what releases you are looking forward to later this year down in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to check out our various socials like TikTok and Twitch for more geeky goodness. Till next time, keep on geeking on.